YouTubers and Cowboys fans? It's another video from that VA Dallas Cowboy fan. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting down below. It's great to make these videos for you and for myself. It's almost therapeutic, you know, getting those kind of rants out about the Cowboys. But today, we get to say something we haven't said in quite some time. But how about them Cowboys? Yes, we got a victory last night. So we finally get to see a victory Monday in quite some time. We beat the Philadelphia Eagles last night. And as I'm going to post as the title of this video, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like the game was the movie The Waterboy. If you haven't seen The Waterboy, other than Adam Sandler being the titular Waterboy in the movie, the example I'm bringing up is the coaches. Jason Garrett is like the coach for Adam Sandler's team. Everybody knows his playbook. They know exactly what he's going to do. That's why it's hard for them to ever win. And Doug Peterson was supposed to be the coach on the opposite side who knew all the plays. It was just carrying Garrett's playbook around on his sideline. And it's almost exactly like that movie, how he was so confident in his team beating us that he made the guarantee and then tried to walk it back, looking bad at that. But he goes in, and then in the end, he's looking just like the movie when he's like shell-shocked. Like, oh, wait a minute. After the first two drives, you're down 14-0. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Where's Jason Garrett's offense? Where is the slow, conservative, methodical, run first, no play action, nothing tricky kind of stuff, dink and dunk things, you know? And Doug Peterson's on the sideline like, deer in headlights, wait a minute, where is the same old crap that's in this playbook that Garrett always throws out? He looked literally like he had no idea what this offense was all of a sudden. Jim Schwartz, he couldn't figure out this offense. I mean, we made plays where the defense was literally so dumbfounded they were missing open field tackles because they were overrunning routes. They were over pursuing and getting bad off their assignments and keys. And it's just funny because usually that's us, you know, that's the Cowboys usually having that horrible defense or poorest offense. And last night is like, wait a minute, where the heck did this come from? And I'm not going to sit here and give Jason Garrett any kind of credit. I'm sorry. He gets no credit for this. People will probably give him all the credit in the world, but I'm not. Why am I not giving him credit? Because of a simple fact that this team is capable to do this every single week. And the fact that they do not do it every single week, especially when we were losing, tells me Jason Garrett had a hand in that freaking offense. And he's the reason that we were shut down all these games. Because if you look at it, the first 3 weeks, completely different from the last 3 weeks. It looked like Kellen Moore first 3 weeks and then Scott Linehan the last 3 weeks. And you're just kind of wondering, you know, who flipped the switch? Why did our offense completely turn around and go back to the same old crap? And a lot of people assumed, and even the announcers, Tony Romo, is on TV saying, you know, this looks like Jason Garrett's hands all over this play calling. And you kind of wonder to yourself, maybe, just maybe, after 3 weeks, they were rolling. Kellen Moore was a genius, like they said. And then they came up against the Saints. Now, the Saints beat us by field goals, and they're probably sitting back wondering, you know, maybe Kellen Moore just doesn't have it. And then they go out and, you know, say all that dumb stuff after the game, saying they know his hand signals and all this stuff from Boise State. Okay, that's fine. Change the freaking hand signals. It seems that simple. You can still run the same offense, but just change the hand signals if they're studying that. But it seemed like Jason Garrett got so flustered and scared that he decided you know what, I'm going to take back this offense, and I'm just going to do what I do. I'm going to just run this the way I run this. And you see, after that, we got blown out by Green Bay because we're running the same old crap. And then the Jets, we ran the same old crap, and then same old results. We lose. And you can tell that was a Jason Garrett version of the offense more than Kellen Moore. So you're just kind of wondering to yourself, okay, well, if, everybody's figured out the Jason Garrett offense, we can just beat that, and that's probably what Doug Peterson was thinking when they came marching into town, that they can easily just sit here and beat Garrett with the same old offense. But in this case, I guess because his job was on the line, even though everybody says it wasn't, and that's probably a bunch of bull coming from the Joneses, more than likely his job was on the line, and Garrett decided to let Kellen Moore get that offense back. And then you start seeing the same old stuff from the Kellen Moore weeks that we were winning. Play action, read options, RPOs, pre-snap reads and stuff, pre-snap motions. We getting players involved that don't usually get involved. Pollard, Austin. I mean, we did this the first 3 weeks and won. And so you're kind of telling yourself, well, why didn't it work against the Jets, the Saints, and Green Bay? Because it's a Jason Garrett-led offense. For some reason, until his job was put on jeopardy, he was going to just run us into the ground. And I'm really starting to believe that Jason Garrett is the head of our problems, because I do not see these problems when it looks more Kellen Moore play caller. So, I mean, that's just my opinion, conspiracy theory or not. But you can tell when Jason Garrett is doing more of the play calling than Kellen Moore. And it's obvious in the games we win and lose, because you see the same old poorest offense every single time. When we lose, and it looks like a Jason Garrett-led offense. But when we win, it looks like a Kellen Moore offense. So you're kind of wondering to yourself, well, if we run a Kellen Moore offense, what happens if we lose? We haven't seen that yet. So it's a possibility that if we kept going the Kellen Moore way, we might actually have had a better record than we do right now. But we'll never know, because Jason Garrett seems to really be smelling himself, and he thinks he knows better. So he's going to go into these games thinking, yo, my way is the way. And obviously it's shown that it is not. And I don't know why nobody else in that organization can see it. Maybe they're playing hardball and just, kissing the fans' butts and trying to tell us, oh, his job's not on the line. He's safe, for the fans. But in reality, they're really telling Garrett, you muck this up, you're gone. Because we've had it. We've seen a decade of this, and we've seen it on the field, and obviously you are the problem. It's not Kellen Moore, and sometimes it's not even the defense. It's your offense, and you can't score points. But that's just my conspiracy theory on that. But about the game, great win. We executed on all three phases. Something that's been lacking. Our special teams kickoff and punt return units still need a lot of work. I mean, we're averaging, less than 10 yards on returns? That's ridiculous. I mean, y'all might as well just fair catch every single time, because you're not getting anything when you actually try to return the ball. Defense showed up, obviously, all the takeaways and the sacks and the pressures. Our offense played well, just like I mentioned about the two night and day offenses. And the coaching stepped it up. So they had to do what they had to do. I believe there was an internal discussion that their jobs are on the line if you blow this game. So everybody stepped their game up and did what they were supposed to do. Now you're wondering why they can't do that every single week. Who knows? I don't know. It's bad coaching. But you kind of see there's something going on when you got players on this defensive line that have been here for years, and they get no pressures, no sacks, no anything. Robert Quinn, who hasn't been indoctrinated into this defense like the rest of these guys been coached up for the last couple years, is the only one sacking people. He's the only one that's out here doing things because he hasn't been fed this crap over the last couple years with Chris Richard and Rod Marinelli. So maybe it's a mental thing. It's a coaching thing. I don't know, but he's definitely going out here playing like his hair's on fire. And from a guy who's not been on the team until now to do all this, it makes you kind of wonder, maybe it is something wrong with the coaching or player execution. I mean, it makes no sense. The interceptions came from actually turning around and looking at balls and jumping routes. Wow, it's something that this defense does not ever teach. Because you look at Cheeto, he almost got caught for another pass interference because he can't turn his head around. That's coaching. I mean, it is ridiculous how this team could be just night and day with some of the most simplest stuff that they can figure out. Jeff Heath, I'm not saying I'm happy that he got hurt, but let's look at it. The man is almost a liability playing special teams and defense, and there's just two big instances where he's just out of position for these big plays. I mean, he just got ran right past by Aguilar in the open field on that wide open catch that he didn't even go out for. That was just incomplete. But you can look on the route and you see you're 20 yards back. How do you get a man running past you when you're already 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage? I still can't figure that out. How do you take bad angles with a guy running straight at you and you still somehow are blown off the line and can't figure out how to get to him? It makes no sense. And then you got the Dallas Goedert touchdown. There's only two players on defense that could have got in there and made the play. You got Van Der Esch, who was on the play, and then you got Jeff Heath, who was actually there late. Now you look at the tape and you see that when he was going up the seam, where was Jeff Heath? He only had two guys running out there, and you already saw Cheeto had his man covered. So that leaves one guy for you to help defend. And once he technically ran past Van Der Esch, that was your cue that you should have got on the man that just blew past your linebacker. Because you can't have your linebacker get blown by and think he's going to make up steps. No, it doesn't work that way. Not all the time, at least. He's not one of those safety linebacker hybrids. So when I'm thinking in my mind, okay, I see Jeffrey getting manned down by Cheeto and the fact that he can actually push him out of bounds if need be, but you see one-on-one your linebacker Van Der Esch against Dallas Goedert, and you see Goedert blow right by your linebacker, so nobody else is covering the middle of the field, and you standing there in the middle of the field looking both ways and still can't figure out who is the guy he's going to throw to. Hello, the open guy. But Jesus, I don't know. But you see when Heath was gone, Wood stepped up and he laid the wood on some plays and he got a pick. So that I don't know if that's Jeff Heath. I don't know if y'all need to figure something out at safety, but that's kind of ridiculous that Heath goes down, we play better on the back end. Just saying. Okay, injuries. Van Der Esch is going to be okay. He had a neck stinger. That's why he wears that giant neck roll, and apparently he's had so many stingers before, and this one isn't going to really hurt him. Thankfully, we have a bye week plus a day, because I think the Giants game will be on Monday Night Football. And Robert Quinn injured his ribs. You could tell after one of the plays when he went to the sideline, he was down and had his helmet off and looked like he was gasping for air. So thankfully they said he'll be okay, but we'll see. I don't know. Ribs are kind of, I've had rib injuries, and it is not fun trying to suck for air, you know. And in a sport like that, you want to get as much air as you can. But we'll see. We got the time. But that's it on the injury front. You know, no major setbacks for any of our stars that were injured going into the game, so that's good. Cobb looked okay. Cooper looked very okay. Gallup looked good. La'el Collins and Tyron Smith looked good. Tyron, though, had a couple penalties. I mean, some of the penalties, again, were BS. And the referees helped the Eagles get down the field on a lot of plays. But it is what it is. I'm starting to get used to it. It is what it is. They're just going to be throwing flags to be throwing flags. Let's see. But yeah, that was pretty much our game plan. They executed. They coached. They won. Good job, Brett Maher. It didn't come down to his field goal kicking like it was totally necessary. But good job on hitting a 63-yarder. So you're the first man in NFL history to hit 2 62-yarders and a 63-yarder. But now you can get that 64-yarder. You'll tie the record of all time in distance. But hopefully it should never come to that. But good job all around, team effort. Good job coaching, some of you. And that's one game at a time. Next week's the bye. So we get to sit back and watch other teams play. And week after that, let's get back to it. Go Cowboys. Peace.